I still see videos of famous drummers like Aaron Spears, Eric Moore, and Vinny. Or young greats like Andy Pardo, Mason Guidry, Joel Turcotte, and David Kola. And think, I'm a long way from that, but I think I figured out a secret. Not saying you should necessarily listen to me, not even saying I'll eventually be as good as these guys, but I think I figured out how to get into low Earth orbit, how to go wheels up, and you'll understand that analogy more later. And when I look back on the way I used to practice, and I see the way a lot of people are still practicing, it's like a light bulb goes off. There's a difference. Maybe I'm on the 14th floor and our heroes are on the 30th, but I'm going to show you how to get from the 4th floor to the 14th. Stay tuned. Irrelevant autobiographical interlude. So I've been moving this week. Actually, I've been moving all summer. Moving out of our old place, then the plague hit us and we didn't have a new place yet, so we moved into an Airbnb. I wasn't sure when we'd move into the new place, but I'd already moved practice studios. All of which is to say, despite moving, I'm not gonna do the YouTuber thing of, sorry I haven't posted in 6 months, but I was building out my new studio, bro. I'm gonna bring it to you live and raw. Segue. Yeah. Segue. I've had less time to do 3-hour deep dives in the shed on account of moving, but that's forced me to get super creative with what I am playing, even if I've only got an hour in the shed. And my OCD requires that I shed every day, even if I'm in a foreign country. And even if I've only got 20 minutes. And one of the things I've been digging into lately is a certain concept from David Kola.
You know, I was sort of just doing whatever. Like whatever, but they're doing it, how they're doing it, it's like they're hitting the freaking drums and their stick heights are above their heads. They're playing with like 5 Bs and just going in.
And I was thinking, how can I practice something that'll give me material to work through this David Kola stuff? Then I remembered, I just made a course on it. The solo course. For more info, click below. It's a running gag. My editor cuts me off in mid-sentence whenever I say you should click below the player and subscribe to my See? Well, let's hit that drum cave for a second so I can explain more. So I've been doing stuff like this. And this. And I realized there's a big difference between that and what I used to do. And I'm going to explain. Johnny Harris style. When I was first learning to play the drums, my teacher gave me a steady diet of 2 things. The 26 Essential Rudiments and drum books. And you can find drum books for practically every level. Before my first teacher joined a right-wing militia, I'm pretty sure my curriculum was Jim Chapin, really good book. Carmine Appice, Realistic Rock. I wish I'd fully appreciated how awesome Carmine was at that stage.
So here we go. Page 31, idea 7.
And Advanced Funk with Rick Latham. Later on, it was reading out of Ted Reed's Syncopation book, which was super valuable later when I had to read with a big band. When I got to college, still more classics. He had Thig Pen Brush book, the Da Fonseca Brazilian Rhythms book, John Riley's Art of Bop Drumming, and Beyond Bop Drumming, Garibaldi's Tower of Groove, the Talking Drums book, New Breed, and more. And those were just the drum books. Then there were the transcriptions. Kenny Clark, Philly Joe, Elvin, Max, Tony Williams, extracurricular stuff like Dan Weiss, Bill Stewart, and Nasheed. Not to mention all the stuff I did over the years for the channel. And if I had to guess, you probably had a similar experience to mine if you've been studying drums seriously for a while. Lots of input. Input. Vocabulary. Material. And that stuff is like a jet engine propelling you down the runway. More and more material. Eventually, you hope the wheels leave the ground and you take off into the sky. Except, what does taking flight mean when it comes to the drums? I mean, what are we saying happens when the wheels leave the ground? Well, here's a clue. Ever met a player who's learned every book but never played any gigs? They have a certain sound, right? Like a classical guy trying to play the kit. You know what I'm talking about. In my humble opinion, taking flight means being able to play your own ideas as forcefully as you play those books and transcriptions. To be able to close the Garibaldi book and play a funk beat, your own funk beat. It may not be as good as Garibaldi's, few are, but it's your own. To be able to play a fill, your own fill. Books, exercises, and transcriptions are like a guided tour to a tourist hotel where all the food is provided. Getting there on your own is like hacking your own path through the jungle, finding a clearing, and building your own civilization from the memory of those other civilizations you've seen. And we've got all this material shoved at us. Because it's easy to teach material. It's easy to say, go play this book. So we've got the jet engines, but do we have the wings? So the secret to great players is this. They spend the majority of their time cutting their own path through the jungle. We're all practicing books, transcriptions, and licks. They're busy incorporating that vocabulary and learning to improvise on their own. It's like David Kola improvises till he finds a pattern in this novel. Us open a book and play down the page. David Kola takes that pattern and plays it slow, fast, slow, with all the stick height and intensity he talked about in his video. Then orchestrates it. Us learn a transcription, then give up once we can play it. David Kola then practices incorporating that pattern into his improvisation. For hours. Us try to force that lick into something organic and then maybe get fired from a gig. Or Matt Bover. Or Nathan Slatner. Insta profiles above. If you want to see people transforming their playing over the course of just a few years, watch those guys. Can I make this any clearer? It's not a difference of degree. It's a difference of kind. Great players make incorporating stuff the centerpiece of their practice. We do it as an afterthought when we have the time. Because playing out of the book is easy. Because playing out of the book lets us rest our brains. Yeah, I know this is getting a little sappy. Okay, so what does this look like in real life? Well, it just so happens I have a course. As I was saying, I have a course, link below, that you can check out if you but let's demo it a little. First, I take a pattern, like those in Module 2 of my, I'm not gonna say it, but crucially, like one of those, which are just examples, and they're meant to be a jumping off point. And the guys who are really gonna succeed with that course are gonna take them as a jumping off point and invent their own. So let's say I play around a little. And I come up with a pattern like this. That's already isolated, but if it were complicated, I'd isolate. It's here that the David Kola stuff comes in. I play it loud, with intensity and the stick height to match. Then I orchestrate. If I see a segue to another pattern I like even more, I take it. If I can rephrase things to make it even cooler, I'll try. I'll try to incorporate. Then turn on a timer and do that for like 10 minutes. Then I'll noodle some more. Until I find another pattern. I've been checking out a lot of Garibaldi. He loves to do. Sometimes I'll take a bit out of a transcription. So after a few cycles of this, then I really will just improvise for a while. And this is all without a metronome, by the way. You know me, Mr. Metronome Stickler. But it's important to practice this stuff without a metronome before you turn one on. And that's it. So I feel like we need a What Did We Learn segment. I lured you into this video with the promise that I'd show you the secret of how great players practice that's different from the way most of us practice. And hopefully I've proven to you that that secret is that they spend the majority of their time and effort stretching and messing with sometimes basic kernels of vocabulary and incorporating those into their playing. Whereas most of us spend most of our time playing out of books or just noodling. To use the airplane analogy one more time, we've got the latest, greatest GE engines for a ton of propulsion, but we haven't really built any wings. Okay, got it now? Good. So hopefully my editor will take a coffee break and allow me to tell you about my course, the Solo Course. Now, as I've said throughout, I'm learning this along with you guys. I'm not claiming to be anywhere near as good as David or Joel Turcotte or Andy Potter or any of those guys. I'm maybe just around the next corner and I can see what's ahead a little bit better. And I'm reporting that back to you guys. And if you'd like the system I worked out to practice this stuff to get better, all sort of laid out in organized fashion for you with high quality video and transcriptions, I recommend you check out my course, the Solo Course. But we only open it a few times a year and it's only available to people on my mailing list. Hence, click below the player, enter your email address in on the next page, and you can get on that list. I won't spam you guys. What I will do is I'll send you my 3-video mini course, which is like a gateway drug to my premium courses. You get a little taste, and I assert those 3 videos will make you better in the next 3 weeks than you've gotten in the previous 6 months. Dude's been real. Wasn't sure we were going to wrap this one. We got through it. Check you in the next one. Peace. Hello, hello, I'm here, hello, hello, no, it's not that, it's me, right here, thank you.